Hey friends, welcome back. My name is Beatriz Fedele and the month of July is watercolor month. So I figured that we will do a series of videos about the basics of watercolor for those of you who are just beginning or for the ones that need a refresher. Today's video, we're gonna do one of my favorite things, which it is painting with a limited palette using only 3 colors, one each of the primary colors, and making a big variety of other mixes. Hello, so today our lesson is going to be about color mixing with a little bit of color theory and how to work with a limited palette. The goal here for me is to be the less technical possible, but also at the very beginning for beginners, people feel a little pulled off by the price of supplies. And actually it's better to get a few supplies, like in this case, in colors, 3 of your primary colors, and start with those, or what is also called working with a limited palette. You will see how with these ones you can create different mixes. And by working with a limited palette, you will get a better understanding of what color can do for you, how color behaves, and then down the road, you can add one by one other tubes of colors where it will be less expensive. You will already have a better understanding of the colors. We're gonna be starting with the very basics. I'm gonna have a clean palette and we're gonna use 3 primary colors. For the blue, I'm gonna use a Cobalt blue by Daniel Smith. And we're gonna be using as a yellow, the Hansa Yellow Light by QoR Watercolor. We're gonna put some of these, say right here. The last primary is gonna be a Pyrrole Red, also by QoR Watercolor. And we're gonna put this one, say right here. I'm also gonna be using synthetic Winsor Newton number 6 or Escoda Perla number 8. We'll go with them. Also have my water ready. I also have my paper towel ready. So let's get started. Color wheel. You guys probably remember this one, how we got the 3 primary colors, and those 3 primary colors can make secondary colors, and then we can do tertiary colors. Start with the 3 primary colors. I'm using these ones, but if you have a different ones, as long as you have a blue, a yellow, and a red, we're ready to go. So you're probably thinking, okay, the 3 primary colors are pretty good, but how do I know which primary colors to use? It is true that for each primary color, they have 2 versions. One that is like cold and one is warm, and for all of them. If you choose a warm or a cool blue or yellow, they are different than mine, your results may look slightly different, but not totally different. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm already activating it with watercolor. We paint with water, so I'm bringing some water, switching it up a little bit with my paint, and then we're gonna start making like a color wheel. Let's just move it a little bit here. It's not gonna be nothing perfect and round like this. We're just gonna have fun with it. So let's just say, for example, I'm gonna make a line here, kind of like a little switch, and this is our yellow, our primary one. I rinse my brush, I put it on my paper towel, and let's just say that we go now with our red. Let's get the water, we activate the color, switch it around, and now we move over here, and then we're gonna do it, we start here. We do a little kind of triangle just to make it fun. Okay, we rinse again. Next, I'm gonna grab my blue and I'm gonna place it right. That's good. Okay, so now these are the 3 colors that we were having in our tube. Now we're gonna go ahead and get some blue, and we're gonna make us 2 mixes. We're gonna get one right here and another one right here. one of red. And now we're gonna go ahead and get the blue with the red. The point here is we're gonna try to make it as much blue and red as possible, so 50-50. I think I have more red and we will have to get more blue, so let's do it. And then we are making our purple. Oops, let's get this one out here before it contaminates. There you go. A little bit more blue. Till we get the aim here is to get a purple. There's a purple. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put it here in the middle, but we're gonna leave some room for the other colors that we're gonna be mixing. This is called a secondary color because we're using two primary colors to make this color. So second, because it comes out of the two primaries. So we're gonna put it here, and it usually is a pretty dark, but it's still beautiful purple. Like I said, our purples is one of the colors that have the most influence if you use red or warm or cool colors. So, but we will talk more about that in different videos. Blue with yellow. Again, we're trying to get here a 50-50, same amount of one color as the other, and that is making us a green. More blue. More yellow. And now we get a good green. And we're gonna put this green right here in the middle between the blue and the green and the yellow, sorry. Needs a little bit extra water. And this mixes, this is a secondary color. For the secondary color mixes, we try to get same amount of one color as the other. So same amount of yellow as blue, give us that green. Same amount of blue as red will give us this purple. And now for our last one, we're gonna mix the same amount of red and red out there. I just need a little bit more yellow. And now we're having our orange that we're also gonna put here in the middle between these two. Okay, so now we have here in our color wheel our primary colors and now our secondary colors. But we can still mix more colors out of this. Tertiary colors happen when we mix a secondary color with a primary color. So for example, we get the purple. Oh, look how beautifully sometimes colors separate. That has separated a little bit. So we just move it around. So to this one, we're gonna add more blue. So we got a secondary color plus more of a primary color. And it gives us a tertiary color. And then you get this beautiful bluish purple. Since we added to the secondary color, we added blue, we're gonna put it next to the blue. Beautiful bluish purple. So I make myself more of the secondary purple, and we already did this with extra blue. Now we're gonna do it with extra red. So we bring a little more red to this mix, and it's gonna give us a red purplish, almost like a magenta. Look how beautiful that is. Let's get a little extra water. Okay, now let's just mix the red with the orange. We have the orange here. I'm gonna use a part of it. We don't have a whole lot, so let's just make a little more orange. by mixing red with yellow. And then to this one, we're gonna add a little bit extra red. And now we're gonna place it right here in between these two. Just move the palette and add a little more red. Or let's, here we go. Then we put it in between these two. Now, to our original orange here, which was like the 50-50 of the two primary, we're gonna add a little extra yellow. And then we're gonna place this beautiful, this is almost, actually this color, the solid in tubes is called Indian yellow. And we're gonna place it here in between the orange and our yellow. Now we're gonna add our green yellow mixture. We're not gonna mix the whole thing, we're just gonna get in one corner here. The greenish yellow. And we're gonna put it right here in between again. Do it this way so you can see it. And the last thing we need to do is mix our green with extra blue. So I'm getting some of my blue and I'm putting it on this part of the original. And this is giving us almost like a turquoise type of green. So as you can see, out of 3 tubes of paint, we were able to create a big variety of colors. Now, say for example, to this green, you keep adding more yellow and it will, or less yellow, you will have more colors in between these two, and so on and so forth. So the possibilities are endless as how many different combinations you can make. Now we need to talk, these are the bright colors. Now we're gonna talk about the browns, neutral colors. For that, we need to go a little bit into the color theory. If we get, it's gonna be very simple, so don't worry. If you get a primary color, the color, like in this case blue, the color that sits opposite and the color we all of them, which is orange, this is what is called the complementary color, and it is, or the contrast color, 2 different words for the same thing. This one mixed with this will give us, so now brown. Let's just try one of the combinations of our complementary colors. So I can still show you both things. We will get this kind of brownish green. Now, if I was using a different type of blue, it will be, I will get a different one too, a different tone. So now say that I bring a little bit more of the blue into this mix. Now I'm starting to get, it's kind of like a gray, greenish gray. But it's not green, it's not bright, it's more of that. Now say for example that to this mix, I bring a little bit more of my orange. Now, I'm already starting to get in more onto the brown, you see? And maybe if I bring even more, let's see where we'll end up with a little bit different kind of brown. And so on. So this is mixing orange and blue. Now, what happened, let's try what will happen if we mix same amount of blue with same amount of yellow and make a mix. I got too much yellow, so again, let's bring more blue. We're trying to make the secondary green. I think we got it now. Okay, so now for this one, I usually don't like to clean my palette because all these colors can be used. But for demonstrations, today demonstrations, I'm taking this out. And now out of this mix, I'm gonna give me some over here. And I'm gonna start bringing the complementary of green. Green is the secondary, the primary complementary across from the color wheel is red. So let's bring some of that red. We start with some of that. And let's, this is more red and less green. And they start giving us this kind of reddish brown. But it is a pretty brown color. Now let's just add a little bit more on the green onto this mix. I just bring in some of that green here. And you see how I'm switching it. And it's changing. Now if I even bring more green to it, I will start getting it brownish, but more on the green side, more dark. And what happens if I will bring even more red? It will still be brown, but it will be more like a terracotta kind of brown. More, it will give us even that. So you can keep getting more range. Or if I was bringing more and more green, my ranges will be different. And now let's see the other browns that we can make by mixing the other complementary color. We already did orange and blue. We did red and green. And now we need to do yellow and purple. So we have our purple here. This one was a little bit, we mix it a little bit on the red. So I'm gonna bring some more blue. The aim here is to make a true 50-50. Kind of like that, the secondary color. Okay. And now to this secondary color, again, I'm gonna clean this area in the middle. To this secondary color, we're gonna add some of our primary color, which is yellow. And let me move the water a little bit. And we start with this one. See, it's how brown. If I bring more yellow, get it in a lighter tone. Even more yellow to it. We'll continue to light it up. And what happens if I bring more of the purple? Well, then I'm gonna start darkening it out. Just bring some of that. Oh, beautiful browns. Look at all the, and even more purple. And we can keep getting it darker. And if I was getting even more, I can keep going almost to the blacks. Okay. So another important thing, once we know our complementary colors, is that, and you do that by adding a little bit of the opposite color, the complementary color. Say, for example, we're using our bright yellow. And now I'm just gonna bring to this bright yellow a smidge of my purple. I don't wanna change, I don't wanna make browns. I just wanna change the tone so that it's dull and not bright. And same thing with the blue. The opposite of blue is orange. I don't have orange. Let's mix some. I get some of my red with my yellow. Now I have orange. Okay. This is my bright sunny day sky. This is my bright blue. Okay, let's just get more pigment. I feel like I had too much water on it. There it goes. This is better, where we can see the color better. And now it's like, well, the sky is getting a little cloudy, so then we add that, and then we create a dull variation of that color. But what we actually had done is create different and here it is. Out of 3 tubes of paint, we were able to create all this big variety of colors, bright colors, beautiful colors. I did have to give you a little bit of the technical part, but I hope it wasn't too deep. And that allowed you to get a better understanding of what we do, some of the things that we did. Like in these cases, how you can create beautiful neutrals by getting the opposite colors or the complementary colors. And also how you can change the tone from bright to more dull of the same color just by adding a little bit of the opposite contrast color. What I would like you to do is continue to do blendings, do different mixes, and see what kind of color combinations that become your favorite. It's all about having fun. Don't worry about making anything yet. Color is one of the most rewarding things that you can explore when it comes to painting. And nothing beats the creation of your own. And if you have one that you really, really like, I will encourage you to write it down so that you can repeat it for future paintings. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope that you learned something. If you want a refresher or some of the basics, don't forget to check my Watercolor 101, and I'll see you on the next